Hey, everybody. I thought I would make a quick video for you members of the Podcast Foundry because I'm preparing to do a live stream later today. And it is going to be for GoWP. It's going to be how I'm moving my podcast planner from Airtable to Notion. And so it's a pretty big undertaking. I think in last week's newsletter, I talked about how I'm moving to Notion and why I'm moving to Notion from Airtable. But this is by far the biggest. And so I'm going to make a checklist here. I thought I would do like a little like pre-session work in public for you, build in public sort of thing. Because since the live stream is for GoWP, I'm not going to be able to make that members only. And so I wanted to give you this bonus video. So let's dive into it. And I'll say, if you like this, let me know. I can do more of this stuff. I can just have the camera on while I'm working. That's easy content for me to make. So here is the podcast planner. Shout out to Renee Morozowitz for creating this for me way back when. And I've made some significant updates to it to include like templates and things like that. And some notes for this is for the opt-in version. So the first thing I'll do is duplicate this and then move it to the how I built it section. So I'll take this out of freebies and move it under how I built it. Great. And so it could probably just be how I built it, actually. And I don't have anything else in here except the checklists. So that's what I'll do. I'll actually move this to the top level, move the checklists into here, delete this how I built it, and then call this how I built it. Great. So this is like less checklisty and more like prep work, but this is I like the icon better. Oh, I can do custom. I can upload a custom thing. So I'll do that. So I'm going to do this just to see where I'm at. And then we'll look at Airtable and we'll see like kind of everything that needs to happen. Cause I have like automations in Airtable and then automations in Make going to Airtable. So there's a lot. I'm kind of nervous about it, to be honest. I'm not going to like wholesale turn everything off. That'd be crazy. But yeah, there we go. That's nice. That's nice. Okay. So here I can get rid of this call out. I don't need that. And then I have a couple of templates in here. So I'm just kind of preparing the template because I don't need these notes. And then all the checklists on a per episode basis. And then the other thing, since this is primarily an interview show, I'll set this to interview. The interview planner will be the default. We can get rid of this and this. And then there's a little weirdness in my situation because I do have a Google Doc template. So URL, Google Doc, that will be, it's really only relevant to the interview show. But great. And then I guess I want to, so for solo shows, we don't need to see Google Doc, which it looks like we don't. For interview show, we do. Oh, and we do see it. So where? Oh, here we are. So I'll move this up because that's very important. Okay, great. So enough prep work here. Let's go to Airtable because this is what I have right now. I have a bunch of views. So this is where I'm going to make a checklist. So let's open Bear Notes. Can I? Guess it doesn't matter. You're looking at my notes right now. Show editor only. Great. So I'll do this. Notion to Airtable checklists. Right. Okay, so create the views. Upcoming published Kanban design pickle recording. This is really image creation, recording schedule, which is a calendar view. Prep info. Do I need that one? No. Don't really need that. Yeah, I guess. And then I don't need with video because I just have video on now. So that's episodes. Clips we can ignore for now because I'm not really doing that anymore. For the time being, at least I might bring it back in the new year. Guest outreach we can ignore for now because I've been doing outreach a different way. Guest applications is super important. Because the guest application process, this is part of the bigger automation, right? So I'm going to need to do gravity forms to an application view, and then email automations based on rejected, accepted. This is the biggest one for me because Notion automations don't allow for emails. And so I'm going to have to figure out a different way to do that or keep that in Airtable. And I don't really like that. I'm going to have to think through that one because that's kind of the biggest pitfall of all of this. So let's keep moving. You'll see what I mean. So that's guest application archives. I also have a feedback form. Like that's no one fills it out. So like I can just keep this as is for now because I'll get an email. But if we look in the automation section, there's a bunch of automations here in Airtable. So let's do Airtable automations. We have guest accepted, which is an email. Guest rejected, which is an email. Guest outreach. We'll ignore the guest outreach stuff for now. Schedule episode email to Anna. So this, I'll just make a note that this could be Slack and make automation. Anna create cover, fold into publish episode SOP. Right now, she gets a separate email when I want her to create an image or the images for the show. But I'll just fold that into the image creation SOP, and then she doesn't need separate emails for that. Next is mark as aired. Changes status. That's easy to do in Notion. It's like one of the only things you can automate in Notion right now. Then I have this cleanup script. What is this? If season is -1. Oh, so this is automatically delete empty rows. do I need? And then schedule bit. Again, we can ignore that one. So these are all the Airtable automations in the how I built it base. Okay, so this is a big, it's as big as an undertaking as I thought it would be. Fine. Next, we're going to do make.com automations. So let's go over to make. I hope this is useful. I'm getting sidetracked. Okay, so let's go to make.com. Okay, so we'll log into make here. Already logged in, I guess. Give us maximum screen room. And then in scenarios, I think I can just search Airtable. Yeah, and we've got the Airtable automations. So, Calendly router. This is the biggest one. This is going to change. Oh, dang. What is this? Oh, discovery call. All right, so I already have a branch of this timeline. This multiverse. Going to Notion, but here's, can we zoom in? Nope, not that way. So we already have an automation here. We have two automations happening. This is for when, why, okay, fine. When the how I built it calendar is created or filled out, I create a Google Doc. Great, that can stay. Run scenario. I'll talk about that in a second. But then we have search and update records here in Airtable. So I can actually lop these off. I have to change the Todoist. So let's see. Calendly router. Change search update to add to Notion. And then I need to change this to things because I've moved my operation to things. Actually, I don't need to change that. I'll just kind of update it here. This is weird and frustrating. Why am I having such issues? Okay, weird. Also, I gotta send an email. It's not just well, this search is doing literally nothing. Email. This is terrible. And like the thing, send email. This is crazy. Am I missing something? Oh yeah, totally am. It's because refresh this page. Not so good with the screen sharing, make. Email. Right. That's what I wanted. Send an email. Subject. This would be summary for guest name, and then the guest name would be this, and then I'll have some great, and then the recipient would be my things email, which I don't have memorized, so I gotta here. Enable things URLs. Okay, so great. That's done. Now it's going to Todoist and things, and that's fine. So I only really need to swap out these two bits here. If I don't really, I don't understand what's happening. Let's save this. Okay. Actually, while I'm at it, I'm just gonna add this email things. Is that in there already? Oh yeah, it says EOMF. So I'll change this. E-task. Hopefully I'll remember that. Okay. So that is one automation. Of course, I lose my search because I refreshed. Okay, create new entry. Okay, don't really need this. Don't really need this because I'm not really referencing it. I'm just like hanging out in the folder. So I don't really need this anymore. I'll just keep this as is for now. Podcast guest onboarding. Okay, so here is another place where I'm gonna have to change this, right? So podcast, where's bare notes? Right, so invited versus applied. I mean, I guess since this is the router, oh, but it's the sending the email part that is the rough part. Yeah, so I'll need to think through that a little bit, which is annoying, but fine. Send growth audits to Airtable. So this is something different. Update Airtable when episode is scheduled. This doesn't even work. This doesn't work, and because one of the reasons I'm moving to Notion is because I don't want to pay for my assistant to have access to one Airtable base, like full price for one base. And with Notion, I can add her as a guest. I think I can add like 100 guests. And so I'm just going to add her to the 3 things I need to add her to for free. And she gets full access. So I'm not going to need this at all. I'm just going to update the SOP that when she schedules an episode, she'll change the status to scheduled, right? Don't need update Airtable when episode is scheduled. Okay. Update edited status. Okay, so this is watching Dropbox, does the text parsing, searches for records. So like this is another one where I'm a little nervous I'm not going to be able to do this in Notion. But that'll be for the live stream for me to figure out. And then update status needs editing, right? This is okay, great. So I'm sending the email to Joel here. Okay. So I would probably then do the same thing. Joel is my editor. And so I update the Airtable records and then send the email. So I'll probably do the same thing for these and then probably like watch. I'll write all this down while I'm thinking out loud. Update edited status in Airtable. Okay. Invited, applied, probably watch and applied. Notion base and send email based on status. All right. And then this one's off, so I don't need to worry about that because this also like wasn't working. Okay. So that's everything. Those are all the scenarios I have with Airtable in them. That also comprehensively covers my process where I would need to swap out Airtable for Notion. The biggest question marks, which I will answer on the live stream today, is how am I going to manage communication? Because Airtable sends emails. Airtable sends emails and Notion doesn't. I forgot I had that on. I think that really that's the biggest problem, or the biggest question to answer. So that's what I'll figure out in the live stream today. I hope this was helpful and fun for you. Let me know if you enjoyed watching this. God, this is a 20-minute video. So let me know if you enjoyed watching it, or if there's anything else you'd like to see. But until next time, I'll see you out there.